Hey everybody, welcome back to another drawing tutorial. So today we have Johnny Joestar from Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. So portrait close-up as usual. So we're going for our boy Johnny. Okay, so we're going to start with the eyes as usual. So we're going to start with those big Jojo eyelid lines. So we're up in the top half of our page and we're going to start with his right eyelid. So boom, curved line up like this. And bring it over like so. And of course I'm drawing this in the manga, so it's pretty realistic, I guess. So we have some eyelashes coming up this way like so, and you can kind of thicken up this eyelid line. Not too much. It's not like as exaggerated as in the anime, but it's pretty thick line anyway. And quite long eyelash lines coming up this way. But that's normal in JoJo characters for male and female. So, right, so we'll get the rest of this eye done. So we have a tear duct down here, right? And then this is going to come down, around. So we're going to go down, around, like so. That's a bit thicker on this end. Like so. And then there is some eyelashes like sticking off here underneath that line, so not coming out from it like is normal in the anime. Maybe another line just underneath here as well, kind of like an eyelid line, and the eyelashes kind of stick off that. Like so. So then his iris, so we do sort of a semicircle, a half circle, curve around, up like that. And then the pupil in there, it's kind of near the top eyelid, so it's like up here. And you could add a highlight or a white circle shine just there. Like so. So then his eyebrow. So his eyebrow is like right down, really like against his, nearly against his eyelid line here. So it like starts about here and it's going to curve up this way. And it goes underneath his hat that he has on. So it's like, it's unusual eyebrows. So it's kind of, they stick down and then we have some lines that stick up here, some hairs, and then it's going to go back up underneath, like so. Of course there's a tear duct in here as well, I forgot about that. So this stops up here because it goes underneath his hat. And then we have an eyelid line just here. Comes down around like so. And then a line just in at his nose, just here. So quite detailed, quite realistic. Right, so his other eye, we're about eye distance over, so we're starting about there. So you want to be able to fit this eye in between the two eyes. So we have his tear duct again, and then it's going to curve up and over. Like so. Down to about there, and you can thicken it up a bit. Thicken it up a good bit, like Jojo style. And then the big eyelashes come off like so. So you can kind of line things up with your pencil. You know, make sure they're in line. Don't worry if they're not exactly in line. It's not that important. His bottom eyelid then comes down like so. And back up in towards the tear duct up here. Tear duct in there. And then we might have that line just coming down here. Small one with some eyelashes sticking off. Eyelashes on the bottom are usually smaller. Like so. Iris and pupil again. So big half circle. Up like that. And then his pupil in the middle here. So big. Like so. And you can put a highlight here if you wanted. Of course, you can do that when you're coloring. You don't sort of have to do it now. But I just put it there so you can see where it is. If you want, you can do some sort of lines for his iris here. There's a lot of detail in this drawing. It's obviously a cover drawing, you know, so the artist put a lot of work into it. I've seen, you know, drawings of Johnny where he's, you know, it's like obviously a small cell or a small square in the manga, and he doesn't look like this at all. This is like a big image for a cover, so a lot of detail. Right, so the other eyebrow, so it's gonna, same way, it's gonna come up this way, like so. And then we go the hairs just here. A couple of hairy parts. And then we'll bring it this way, like so. Comes right close to his eyelid here. So you want it to nearly kind of touch his eyelid line, like that. And then he's an eyelid line just here as well. Like so. And a line just for the inside of his nose here. Okay, so his nose, just down here, we'll start with his nostrils. We'll just put in 2 nostrils and then we'll go from there. It's the easiest. So 2 nostrils. And then he has sort of the tip of his nose, so we have like a curved line, kind of like a letter U in the center. Comes up like so. Kind of has a couple of angles to it. It's going up like that. And then the nostrils on the outside. So we go diagonal this way. And then bring it around here. Like this. I'll do the same over here. So diagonal down. Bring it in. Like so. And we're actually going to add just a bit of a shadow underneath. So this comes down to there, and then we'll bring it across like this. And then this triangular shape in here with a shadow inside. Just going to thicken up his nostril a little bit, like so. And then there's some shadow underneath this part of the nose as well. Coming kind of this way as well. And a little bit over here. We've got some shadow here too. there might be some hatching coming up the side of his nose there. Just going to make the bottom of his nose here a little bit darker. Maybe here too. Just to add some detail here. Make his nostril stand out a bit more. Okay, so his lip, so his top lip just here, we do a curved line like so. So real big lips in Jojo characters. So it comes up, comes back down to there, comes back down the other side. Then we have the middle line. So comes across, down, back up, and then comes across the other side. Like so, and then there's probably some hatching as well on this lip, coming across, and pretty dark on this side. His bottom lip, maybe nearly all black on that side, and then his bottom lip just here, real big, up and under, like so. Might be a shadow under here as well, so just thickening up this sort of line here. Okay, so his chin, then down here. It's a real sort of square chin, like so. And you can check your proportions now. So the nose is halfway between the eyes and the chin. So that's the same distance there. And then the bottom lip is halfway between the nose and the chin. So that's the same distance, just there. Just approximately, it doesn't have to be exact. Just from the bottom of his nose to his bottom lip line is about halfway. And the nose is halfway between the eyes and the chin. Just there, just to the bottom of his nose, same distance. There are your facial proportions. So then we're going to go up the side towards his jaw, like that. Do that on this side as well. So there. And then at about the mouth line, we're going to bring it up the other side, up towards the side of his face. And it meets his hat that he has on just across from his eyebrow here. And we'll do the same thing over the other side. So I'm just going to give him some of those lines for his jaw just here. Come down like that. He doesn't draw it like that in the manga, but I think he needs it really, just to give it that sort of Jojo style. And then he has some lines coming up around his brow there as well, just underneath the hat. So in the hat, so it comes down, so we have that two lines on the side, so it's going to come down like so. Boom. Comes across. Curves down like this. So I went too far with the face line. Sorry about that. Oops. I'll fix that. Oops. So then he has the same on the other side. So it curves down just about here. And then goes back up towards the center. And in the center here, he has a horseshoe right in the middle of his forehead. So then this horseshoe, it's a big letter U, just comes down around center here, comes back up the other side, like this. And then we have like two boxes kind of on top of this. So, and a double line obviously. So we'll do the double line first. So it curves like so. Double line. And then we close that off here. Both sides. And then we'll do like a box on top. Just there. And we'll bring it in to make it look a bit 3D. So we're going to give it a bit of perspective like that. And then we'll bring the side up to there. And back into there. And I think there's like another little box inside here as well. Like so. I'll do the same over here. Like so. And we'll give it that edge like that. And a rectangle for a box inside. And then there's actually another edge line just to this. Just like, because it's a piece of metal, so it probably has some edges, like so. Real thin, going up to the top there, and then some more rectangles inside. So these come down along that whole horseshoe, come down around all these. Like so. So, right, so the rest of this hat, so this hair and then the hat goes around his head. So let's see. So we have, this hat comes in like so, both sides, and then there's pieces of hair that like stick out. So like hair spikes sticking out here. There's one. Curves back in. Like so. And then some coming down side of his face, like this. Another one here, here. And of course these all have like sort of texture lines, hair lines, all in here. Like so, and then there's some hair sticking out over here as well. So spike coming down there. Another one coming this direction, meets some more hair that comes down here. Real long, this one, longer than that side. And then this comes back up to his jaw. And then we have some hair coming down underneath that one. So a couple of hair spikes here. And then these have all texture lines and hair lines. Like so. Okay, so the rest of his hat, so we're going to bring it up. He's got like a bump sort of coming out on the side, kind of travels up into here. Then he's got a line coming across the top here. That comes across the top in here as well, and comes down this side. And some there as well. And then this is going to go up the side here too, like so. Then we're going to bring it up around. So when we get to about this point on the hat, this one's a bit higher up, but he's got piece of hair, either piece of hair or little wings sticking out. I think they're part of the hat. I think they look like, they're kind of like little wings. So sticking out like so, like this. And they're coming out of a box-like section just here. Coming out around like this. So, and then the hat will continue around, and we'll meet the other wing sticking up a bit differently on this side. And the hat will travel, keep going. All the way down. And then these wings have some lines on them. And yeah, and then there's like some fold lines and stuff for this hat. Some lines showing that it's got a bit of texture and that it's folding around his head. Might be some hatching every now and then. I won't do too much of that because we'll keep it sort of anime style more than anything. Might be some hatching lines just here on this bottom part of his hat. And he's got a horse head right here in the middle, and then there's stars all over the hat. So this horse, so we have its ear, so like a spiky sort of triangle just here. This comes up into the head part. And then we've got a couple of bumps coming up along the top for the snout, just there. Like so, it's like a silhouette. So the nose then comes down around. The mouth is kind of open, comes down like that. And then we'll bring this into here. That's the chin. So that's the ear going back. The eye is like, let's see, it's kind of in here. Something like that. The nose is like here. And then that big horse jaw going down that way. Then the neck into the collarbone and down to there. And then, so the back of the horse's head just here. Got a piece of hair that kind of sticks up here. It's the mane coming down like that. Then all those stars sort of all over. So one like sticking out here. Lots of little Patrick stars everywhere. Oh, SpongeBob. Star. So I always think of Patrick Star when I'm drawing stars because, you know, he got his head, 2 arms, and 2 legs. Like that. Some coming out around his hat, of course, on the other side. So you'll have like just his head sticking out there every now and then. And kind of arm sticking out. Leg, arm. so. And 2 legs, another arm. Go again. Head, arm, arm, and 2 legs. More there. Bit of a leg sticking in there. People are so confused. Why are you describing them as legs? It's Patrick Star. Curve line that way. Star. Sorry, not curve line. Star. Here as well. And that's it. That is all the stars. Right. So, by way of a neck, so we can't really see any of his neck. It's all in shadow. You could have like a neckline coming down, maybe here, coming down towards his clothing, but you can't really see anything because his arm comes across. We'll do his arms first, and then we'll deal with the neck, because that's like mostly, it's black. It's just all black shadow. I can't see anything. I'll see if I can make it up. I'll do his shoulders first. Stop talking. Draw. Okay. So we've got like a line for his hood that comes off back this way, right? Just back here. And then this kind of comes back in this direction. Down like so, right? This may have a dark shadow underneath. Like this. And then when we get to about here, we're going to meet like his arm, so like his arm, he's like, his body's facing this way, so we've like a curved line for like the front of his arm there. And then this kind of comes back this way, like so. And it kind of goes down. There's all these like lines, fold lines for clothing going this way. So that's like the inside line for his hood. The outside line is like here. This comes like right down this way. And then this comes off that way. And there's like a couple more hair spikes in here. And then some lines that go off the back here. And then we have the sleeve of his, so like his shirt that sort of goes over his arm. So his arm is coming out here. Comes down like so. And then this has kind of a bump line coming across it there. There's some hatching, another line, fold line coming down that way. Another one coming across there. Could be some hatching lines, just showing some shadow on the clothes. And then there's like a dark shadow just in here. This is all black. And then we have some black or blue sections curving around here. So, you know, the clothing lines. So it kind of curves like this. This is just like a darker stretch of his clothes. Curves into there. And then these lines come up this way as well. Come around his shoulder. Be another fold line here. Another black section somewhere, say here. these are like stripes that kind of go up and off. This way. Like that, and there might be a shoulder line coming down that way. Not much. So the collar, his collar, just the front is just here. Curves down that way. So remember, his arms are going this way, his body is facing this way, his head is turned towards us. So the other side of his hood is like here. Sticks out this way. Goes around his sleeve there. Goes down that way. And then this may have some like fold lines on it as well. This will have a shadow underneath. Just there. Something there. Make some hatching lines in there. And then we'll give him a neckline. So we'll do a neck here. So it's like curves down that way. And then there should be like a collarbone going that way. This should have some hatching maybe in here. Then Adam's apple, like so. Should be another neck muscle coming down this way. We'll do it with hatching, you know. And some hatching maybe coming up that way as well. And maybe another piece of his neck coming down from his jaw here. Just gonna add some shadow right in here, just so it makes a bit more sense. Maybe here too. Might give him a bit of a shadow underneath his jaw here. Okay, so I think I'll leave it there because there's loads of hatching and stuff all over. And I don't want to bore you too much or make it any more difficult than it already is, because that's a tricky drawing, because he drew him so realistic. So and I can kind of get lost in these types of drawings. I could do it for a very long time. So I'll leave it there. Johnny Joestar. Hope it was helpful. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.